Hi, I'm Christine Schiavone, and our show is Spiritual Exploration. Tonight, we're going to talk about the 2022 eclipses and retrogrades, mostly Mercury retrogrades. And in order for us to talk about these things, I have with me a most welcome guest, Mary Silvernail, who's been with me on many occasions, and she also does shows with Tommy G. And, Thomas Knights Templar. Anyway, and she also has her own show here, Angels.
Astrology, Angels, and More.
Astrology, Angels, and More, which
Brian.
is on what time when?
That's at 7:30 on Friday nights on Spectrum.
79?
Sunday nights, Brian is correcting me.
Okay.
Okay, he's right. 7:30 Sunday evenings, but plus they show it throughout the month.
Yes,
just
same
like
thing.
your show.
Just like my show.
Yeah.
I know it's on at 10 p.m. on Friday night, Spectrum Channel 79, and Fios Channel 35.
35.
But I know that they use it as fillers. They put it in different times. Sometimes I've had people say, I got up at 3 o'clock in the morning, I couldn't sleep, I turned the TV on, and there you were.
And there you were. Yeah, I know. I know different people that I know on Staten Island.
Yeah, so they put them on different times. Yeah, sure. You never know.
Yeah, but it is at 7:30 Sunday nights.
7:30 Sunday night.
And same channels as you.
Spectrum, 79, and Fios 35.
Yes.
Okay, we got that.
Absolutely.
So, in the meantime, though, you said you wanted to do the Mercury retrogrades first. Now, today's date is the 19th of...
I think it's
the 20th. That's right,
Brian?
the 20th of May.
20th, yeah.
And we are presently in a Mercury retrograde.
Oh, yeah.
Until June 2nd.
June 3rd is when it goes direct.
Right. Okay.
Actually. And then there will be a couple more times this year that we can talk about. But I got to tell you, Christine, I was telling you before the show.
I know. A lot of people having a hard time with this retrograde.
Yeah.
And to tell you the truth, until today when I checked my book, I didn't even know we were in a retrograde. So I must be doing okay.
Yeah, I know. Well, good for you. See, because if you don't think about it.
Yeah.
And this is what I try to explain to my son. I explain because my son, this is really going to affect him.
Huh? Oh.
Yeah, and he keeps saying, when is this going to be over? Well, anyway, now he even has my grandson saying it to me.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
And how old's your grandson?
He's 12.
Oh.
He's going to be 13 next month.
He's going to be a teeny bopper now, huh?
Yes. Yeah. He's 2 inches taller than me.
Wow.
And he lets me know that, look, Grandma, But anyway, the thing is, usually I really try, I shouldn't say try, because I do. I set my mind that it's not going to affect me. And that's the best thing to do.
Yeah.
To just program your mind.
Just kind of
think
float
that
through it.
everything is going to be just delightful, fine, etc.
Uh-huh.
What has been happening to me this time, though, I don't know, because I program my mind that way, and it has always worked before for me, Christine.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Not this time.
Not this time.
Not this time, yeah. I mean, I was even late here because there was a crazy
storm
that opened on the parkway coming here and lasted quite a while, and then all of a sudden just stopped, and then all of a sudden the sun's out. I said, oh, thank you, God.
Sure.
Thank you, God. But a lot of people, a lot of my clients, a lot of my friends, my family have been coming back to me and saying, this one is a doozy. I have a friend of mine. She has a stellium of Virgo. She's a sun sign of Virgo, and plus she has many other planets of Virgo. So when you have a stellium in the stars, it's 3 placements or more, And
So was it 3 houses?
3 planets
Oh.
in one particular sign. And so anyway, she's been really complaining to me. And I keep telling her, just program your mind the other way. Yeah, I'm preaching it, but it's not working this time.
You say, hey, wait a minute, that's
But
life, right?
that's it. I had enough of this Mercury retrograde. It doesn't matter to me anymore. I'm just not going to allow it in any way to affect me.
No.
And I'm done
That's
with it.
it. That's
Okay,
it.
it had its fun with me. Okay, now we're done. But anyway, there's 2 other Mercury retrogrades that are coming up. One in September the 9th to October the 2nd. And the planet Mercury will be appearing that it is in a retrograde
It's
motion.
going backwards.
Yeah. And then also again, December 29th through January 18th of 2023. And the thing is that the way I've always looked at Mercury retrograde, it's a time of preparation. So when we are in, really with any retrograde planet, when we are in a retrograde, it's a time for preparing whatever your next goal is. Oh, look at this. Brian put up the eclipses. Thank you, Brian. Oh, okay. So I guess.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, well, yeah, well, we weren't up to the eclipses yet, but I guess we can. Before we go into the eclipses, the last thing we could say about it, you just mentioned the last 2
Okay.
retrogrades of this year.
Yeah.
All right, and we have to remind people that during retrogrades, don't start anything new.
No.
Don't buy a new appliance or a new car, a new television, nothing. Don't start any new friendships, relationships, marriages. Don't do any of those things.
Try not to.
Try not to. If you can.
Sometimes you have no choice.
Sometimes you have no choice, but then again.
Yeah. Well, I'm planning a trip to Florida, but I'm waiting until
Well,
after.
if you plan it like before the retrograde, then it doesn't affect what's going to happen with the retrograde because it was planned before.
Yeah. See, the thing is, sometimes you can't help it. So then what I suggest to people is that you just double check everything.
Yeah.
That's all there is to it,
That's it.
But you're absolutely right what you're saying.
Yeah.
If you want to buy a new car or something like that, or a new appliance, you should really wait until after the
Unless it's
retrograde is
absolutely
over.
like during the last retrograde, which was in January to February, right? Anyway, I had to get a new telephone. And I'm standing
so what
in
are
the
you gonna
store
do,
saying, well, we're in a retrograde, but I got no choice. My other one died. Needed the phone.
So what are you going to do? You have
That's
no
it.
choice.
Yeah.
But I bet you were very careful about what kind of phone that you got.
Yeah.
And all the, the contract of it and all that.
Yeah.
So, like in your situation, Chris, if you had to get a new phone, then you just had to also double check everything, even more so, because Mercury was retrograde. That's all. And Mercury can affect anyone who it affects mostly the strongest, I should say, Virgo and Gemini.
You think that those are 2 strongest signs?
Well, no, because the reason is the reason it affects it more strongly than other sun signs is because if you are born at the time of Gemini or Virgo, then your ruling planet is actually Mercury.
Ah.
So when it goes...
That's right, Mercury. I knew about Gemini, but I didn't know about Virgo.
Yeah. That's why I was saying. The friend of mine that has all those Virgo planets, she goes every time, but if you are a Virgo rising or Gemini rising, it can also... So I just say, it's nice to know when Mercury is going to be retrograde so that you're aware of it.
Right. Yeah.
And especially if you're a Gemini or a Virgo, especially. But that doesn't mean like, oh my gosh, you have the X on you if you're a Gemini or a Virgo.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, sure.
But anyway, so, now, So we have these, and now it's going to be at the time of Virgo, actually, the next eclipse.
That's right.
Yeah.
September 9th
Yeah.
to October 2nd.
Right.
Right.
Well, partial. And then it'll be going into Libra also. But there we go.
Well, they say it's also good to let a few more days go by once it goes direct.
I'm glad you brought that up. The shadow of it.
Yeah.
The energy shadow of it, And that happens with any retrograde planet. Whenever anything goes retrograde, Pluto has been retrograde. The planet Pluto, that big heavy hitter, that's been retrograde now.
For a while.
Oh, my goodness, yeah. Well, since April 29th, it went retrograde. And until I think it's September when it's going to go direct.
Wow.
But but it's a good thing actually, because Pluto has everything to do with what's going on in the world right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so
the transformation that has to occur right now in order to get things straight again.
Let's hope that we get things straight again.
I'm hoping, and I pray for that every day, and I really believe that to be so, because astrologically over the years what I have watched is that I feel, especially in 2023, it's going to be much better. In 2024, then we'll be out of the woods.
As far as
the world has gone crazy.
That's for sure. No,
Okay.
you think it's going to get more sane than
I think that it's
over
going
time.
before the end of this year, I really feel very strongly, and this is because, I especially watch the chart of the United States. I also watch the other countries, etc.,
Oh, you do their charts too, huh?
Huh? That's
a good idea to sit and say, hey, this is going on over here, that's going on over there.
Oh, yeah. Actually, I've talked about that on God's Way Yatave, also Thomas Knight's Templar show, and I had also talked about it on Astrology, Angels, and More, mine and Brian's show. So what has been happening is that really has been happening ever since right before the pandemic. Remember all those eclipses that happened? Do you remember that going on, like right before?
I remember going to the park.
2019.
Yeah.
What?
Going to the park.
With the glasses.
With the glasses. Yes, I still have the glasses.
Oh my God.
Yes, and
you were lucky to get glasses.
There was a family that they all had glasses. They had an extra pair. They said, "You want a pair of glasses?" Sure.
Man,
they gave them to me.
Yeah,
they
you
gave
were
them
so
to me.
lucky.
And we actually had a big piece of cardboard that we were looking through a pinhole.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know.
And then somebody gave us glasses, so we were passing the glasses around.
So you remember?
Oh, sure.
All those Oh, wait a minute. I was on your show.
Yes.
And we talked about that eclipse.
Oh, I'm sure.
And remember, I had mentioned something about that coming back around in 2024.
Yes.
Okay, so this is what I base.
Yes.
Why I'm saying 2024.
I remember that. Yes,
yeah, you and I did a great show on that.
That's right. And when we did the show, it was the eclipse went from there to there.
There's like an X across the United States.
Yes, and then the one in 2024 is going to come from the other direction.
Yeah. So, I mean, I've been talking about that for a while.
Oh, sure.
So that's why when I say to you that I really feel that 2024, it's going to be better, because it's like going to be the finalization.
Yeah. Do you know that Christopher Columbus was into astrology?
Oh, yes.
This is what I have a story.
Please tell me.
Well,
very
he was on
interested.
this island with all of his men, his people,
Yeah.
and the Indians were supporting them. Really, they were giving them food, and
Yes,
and that's how they were
absolutely.
sustaining themselves because of the Indians.
Mhm.
So the Indians were getting a little tired of this, just give to Columbus and his crew. So they went to him and they said, we think we're going to cut you off. We're not going to give you any more food. So it just so happens that Columbus was into astrology and happened to know that very night there was going to be a total eclipse of the moon.
Oh, I love this. I didn't know this.
Yes, he knew this because he was studying all the charts. That's what he
Yeah.
did in his spare time.
Well, how do you think he was able to?
That's right. Anyway, though, so
do what he did. That's great.
Well, he wasn't a really. I'm understanding he's not. He wasn't a great, nice person, but he had to do what he had to do to keep him and his crew alive. So he
Yeah.
said. He
We
said to
really
the
don't know.
Indians, "If you stop feeding us, the moon is going to go away forever. We're going to make the moon go away tonight forever." So that night they had the total eclipse, and the Indians went running over. All right, bring the moon back. Bring it back. We'll
Wow.
feed you. We'll feed you.
Wow, that's great. I love that story.
Right?
I love that story. Yeah. Wow. Gee whiz, that's pretty cool.
You know
No,
that
I've
Columbus
never
was an
heard that.
astronomer, huh?
Well, I know
Astrologer.
that yeah. Back when, okay, way back then,
Yeah.
astrology and astronomy
Were the same thing.
It was the same.
Yeah.
It was the same. And the thing is, can I tell you that, boy, if medical doctors were also astrologers, they would be able to diagnose
Oh, sure.
so much more
Yes.
accurately
Yes.
and easily.
Yeah.
So, I mean, astrology, well, I've told you, I grew up with it.
Right.
So it's just like second nature to me. But as far as, all the way back to, I mean, we've talked about this.
Oh, yeah.
The birth of Jesus Christ.
That's
I
right.
mean, the star of Bethlehem, that was actually an astrological alignment.
That's right. And that's how we know that he wasn't born on December 25th.
true.
Okay, they had to do that because the pagans were all celebrating their stuff. So the Christians had to. Well, that's where we got the Christmas tree, the wreaths, the
You're right.
holly.
You're right.
All of that stuff came from the pagans. That wasn't ours. We stole it from them.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So anyway, but yeah, astrology can be so helpful. You would be surprised how many people, and the stock market is really, it's been very bad.
Yeah,
lately.
I'm glad I don't
know
have
if
any
you're
stock.
aware of it. I know, but it's really, I feel sorry for people.
You
right
think that they're
now.
losing
It's-
money right now?
Oh my gosh, yeah, it's.
So it went down 120 something points. That's a big deal?
Well, no, even more than that.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, because I mean, I keep getting these alerts on my phone. My son, he's involved with that.
Oh.
But actually, he's a financial advisor, but he's actually the manager of the firm there. So he keeps up with all those things. But the thing is that you would be surprised how many investors use astrology for
I'll bet.
stocks.
Hey, presidents have used astrology,
Oh, yeah, especially Reagan.
especially Reagan. Yes, his wife used to go to and also Lincoln. His wife was
Yes.
big on, and they even had a warning about him being assassinated.
Yes, as the same thing happened with President Reagan when there was an attempt.
That's right.
Yeah.
Thank God
Jean
it didn't
Dixon
work.
had predicted that.
Yeah, that's
that
right.
there would be an attempt.
She predicted Kennedy
Yeah.
also.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was worried about Kennedy, and then it happened.
Excellent astrologer.
Yeah.
Yeah. My mother was crazy about her.
Oh,
My
yeah.
mother really liked her.
I had a book by her once. I forget.
Oh, so did my mother.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, well, Nancy Reagan was very much into
Yeah, sure.
astrology. She
Yes.
realized that it's really a science. You
It
know,
is, of
it's
course
not
it is.
like when people come to see me for a reading. I'm doing an astrological chart on them, you know, and it isn't like you're coming in like getting your tea leaves read or something. I mean, which, you know, there's credence to that too.
Oh, sure.
You know,
I've had
all the
experience with that.
arts.
Yeah, sure.
All the arts, but it's just the tool that that particular psychic uses. I don't just look at where all the planets are. I'm an esoteric astrologer, which is different than a regular astrologer because I'm also connecting with the person's soul. So I'm looking at all their lifetimes.
Oh, wow.
You know, yeah, at the same time. So there's not a whole lot of esoteric astrologers, and it's just something I imagine because my whole life I've been connected with
It's
the other
second
side.
nature
It's
to
just,
you.
Yeah, it just yeah.
Sure.
But anyway, so you wanted to talk about the eclipses, didn't you?
Yes, the eclipses we would like to know. We've already had 2 this year.
Correct.
We had on April 30th, there was
Very
a
good.
partial solar.
Yes. Yes.
And the 15th and 16th of this month, which is only a few days past now,
that was a total.
that was a lunar. Well, yeah, lunar. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now
That was a total eclipse. Yeah. It's very interesting about the eclipses for 2022. So go ahead. I'm sorry.
then
What else were you
then
going to
there's
say?
just 2 more for this year: October 25th, the partial solar,
That's right.
and November 7th and 8th, a total lunar eclipse. Now, tell us about that, because when it comes to a total eclipse, I would like to if we could see it. We don't always get to see these eclipses. Sometimes on the other side of the earth, they could see what's going on.
Yeah, it depends on where you are on the planet. And that's why it was such a big deal August of 2017, wasn't it? When that happened with the glasses.
Yeah, because I remember it was a warm day.
Wasn't
we were in the
it?
park.
Yeah.
I was in the park with some friends, and yeah.
So that's why it was a big deal, because here, you know, in New York,
We were able to see it.
You could see it.
That's right.
Yeah, so
yes.
and you know, one thing that I wanted to add before, when you were talking about Christopher Columbus, even in the ancient medieval times, the ancient times, wars would usually happen around an eclipse.
Really?
Yeah, and they really, especially the pagans, truly believed, and they timed it. You know, like, I mean, that's what Stonehenge
when the
is
moon
and all
and the
that.
sun,
Yeah,
blah blah
yeah,
blah.
yeah.
Then that's when we'll start the war.
Exactly. Well, anyway, so yeah.
But did they believe that would help them win it?
Well, depending on, you know, every other aspect of it, yeah. I mean, because what's good for one country isn't good for another country.
True.
At the same time.
Right.
Wow, look what we're going through right now, right?
I know.
Okay.
I know.
But anyway, in reference to the eclipses, you know, yeah, you're absolutely right. The next one, after this last one that we just had a few days ago that we're still feeling the effects of,
Okay.
won't be until October 25th. But this last one, which was May 16th. Yeah, and it went into the 17th.
I
You're
have
right.
here the 15th and 16th was the lunar.
Yeah, well, it was the 16th.
16th,
actually,
okay.
where it was, you know, at its peak. And that had a lot to do with destiny, had a lot to do with fate. And what I advise my clients, what I advise people, I'd like to advise your audience to look back on their life to last November. What was going on in your life last November?
Oh, yeah, really think about that now, right?
You gotta sit down and think about it,
Yeah.
okay? Because whatever it was that was happening then, it has all come to a head now with this eclipse and brought it to a new level. And this particular eclipse, like I said, it had everything to do with destiny, had everything to do with fate. Truly. And what's happening, especially this month, this beautiful month of May, is we're getting all this really good energy starting to come our way. I mean, look at even today, right? May 20th, we're going into Gemini. The sun is moving into Gemini.
That's right.
Now,
Yes.
right? But this is an excellent day to connect with the Pleiades. Remember we were talking a little bit about
the
that.
fact that the Pleiades are a star system,
Right.
and we are made of the star material.
Stardust.
We are stardust.
Yes, we are.
That's right.
Yeah. And when you think about that, really think about that, it's true.
Yeah.
It's true. And but the Pleiades, it's believed that this is really where we come from, where the star people come from. And the Pleiades is also known as the Seven Sisters. And I believe, Brian, I gave you a picture. If you could put it up. There it is. Oh, can we see it? There it is. That's great.
There we are.
See the Pleiades all the way down at the bottom of the screen?
Oh.
Yeah. So if you would like to see the Pleiades system, that all you have to do is look through your telescope, if you have one, up at Taurus, or just at the night sky at Orion's belt. Most people know what Orion's belt looks like. It's those 3 stars. It looks like a belt, okay? Yeah, and then you just follow it down. That's what that red line is, all the way down. You pass another star, and then there's Pleiades. Pleiades is a very powerful star system, over 100 million years old. And that is believed, and there's 7 stars in there, if you counted them. And that is believed to be, it's called the Seven Sisters. Thanks, Brian. And we have another one too, right? Yeah, there it is. Oh, that's a nice one. I like that. Okay. So there they are. There's the star system.
Oh, is that the Pleiades now?
The Pleiades.
That's a close-up of the Pleiades.
Yeah. And with the name of each star in the Pleiades, the Seven Sisters. Yeah. In Greek mythology, it's believed, this is the mythology, this is the myth, that these were all the daughters, the 7 daughters of Titan. And Titan was very concerned about the hunter Orion coming and being with his daughters. Okay, yeah, you see how big Orion was in that other picture where you could just see his belt. He's huge in the sky. And
didn't want him messing with his daughters, huh?
Yeah, so he turned them into stars.
Oh.
So he turned his daughters into stars.
Wonder if they like
really
it.
Quite beautiful, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks, Brian. That's wonderful. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love the background that we have tonight, Christine. That's beautiful.
Oh, yeah. Well, Brian picked it.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, it is very nice.
Okay.
It's very appropriate.
I'm sorry. I get
subject.
rolling on other things because
that's all right.
today is May 20th, like we were talking about.
Right.
And this is a perfect time to be able to connect ourselves to the energies of the Pleiades and make wishes and
oh, really?
ask. Oh, yes.
I hear everybody make some wishes.
Yes. And it lasts for a while so that the portal is still open. It didn't just, have one day.
In other words, we can make
up.
wishes now then.
Yes, we can.
Wow, wonderful.
How about you and I make a beautiful wish?
Okay, let's wish that all of this stuff that's going on in the world gets all straightened out and that we see peace.
Amen.
You know that we are supposedly on the brink of 1,000 years of peace. And let's hope that that happens.
Let's pray. Yes.
Let's pray
absolutely.
because Every human
prayer.
being on this earth is connected to each other. From the beginning of time to the end, we all have a connection to each other. And we have to recognize that connection and see our fellow human beings as brothers and sisters.
Yes.
Because that's what we really are.
Yeah. Because what you said before, that we are made of stardust.
Yes, we're all
means
made
we
of the
all
same
are.
thing.
So we all came from there.
Doesn't matter what color you are, what religion
That's
you are,
right.
we're all the same.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, when you send out, I was just thinking about this. When you say say there's going to be a wedding and you send out invitations, right?
Right.
And you're sending the same invitation in different envelopes with different people's addresses.
Right.
And you're addressing them differently.
Yes.
But it's the same what you're stuffing in the envelope.
And
when you really think about our outer being here, we're just the envelope, and it's the same invitation
inside.
Because that what you were saying before, we're all really the same.
Yeah.
We're all part of the same. And
we're
absolutely.
all made by the same being.
Mm-hmm. Whatever your belief system is, it all,
we all came from the same place.
It all ultimately gets back to spirit.
That's right.
Okay.
Yes.
Really, whether you're Catholic, whether you're Jewish, whether you're pagan, whether you're whatever, okay, Buddhist, it really comes back to spirit.
That's right.
Just represented by
That's right.
Different. Yeah, you and I are really on the same page.
Oh, we always have been.
We always have been.
That's right.
We've known each other a lot of years.
Long time, yeah, long time.
How long has your show been running now?
I started my show in August of 1999. Wow. So I've been going since then. And well, with the pandemic and everything, we weren't doing shows for quite a while here, almost 2 years. Mm-hmm. But other than that, though, I've been pretty consistent.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I know. Well, thank God we're all back, right?
Oh, thank God is right. That we all made it through this, and let's hope that it just goes away now.
Yeah. Oh, please. Yes. So anyway, so you were talking about before the next eclipse, and then there's one after that. And what I wanted to mention is, if Brian, you could put up the dates of the eclipses, that picture you had before. Yeah. There it is. If you notice, the eclipses all have to do with Taurus and have to do with Scorpio. All the 4 eclipses here in 2022. And that's because that is the energy that is happening right now in the world, in the universe, but especially on Earth here, because of the eclipses is what we're seeing and feeling here on Earth. And this is all about Taurus, money, okay, property, real estate, things like that. And if you could take it down for a minute, Brian, okay?
These
we're gonna have to put it
eclipses
back
will
up.
affect these things: money, property.
Yeah. I mean, now look, we just had that eclipse, right?
Yeah.
And what were we just talking about? Stock market.
Yeah.
Right? Look at the real estate market. Well, it started last year, and well, actually in 2020, really, during the pandemic, right?
Yeah.
Real estate is sky high.
Oh, I know. On Staten Island, it has been rising.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, you should see down the shore.
Same
where
thing?
I live,
Yeah.
down at the Jersey Shore. But so this all has to do with things like money, but also has a lot to do with power. Scorpio has everything to do with power, transformation, etc. So that's why, because the north nodes of the moon for this year are facing up in Taurus, and which is actually very good for us. Now, the eclipse that's going to happen on October the 25th, that's a partial solar eclipse in Scorpio. And what that has to do with is conquering whatever it is that you need to conquer within your life.
In other words,
about yourself.
About yourself. It conquer inside stuff.
You got it. You got it. Now, that's personally.
Right.
But then for the world, okay, what we're talking about is to find a way to be able to conquer everything that's going on right now, especially October 25th, that's happening, okay?
Mm-hmm.
To conquer everything that's going on right now, to be able to change it, to get control of the situation, bottom line.
Now you're talking about on a personal level.
On a personal level, on worldwide, actually.
Oh,
in our country,
yes,
especially.
Well, from your mouth to God's ears with this stuff. Let me tell you, the last show I did with Thomas Knight's Temple the other night. We did a show, and we just kept saying, "Pray, please, pray."
Well, that's what we've been saying, right?
Because this whole situation needs our prayers. It needs everybody's prayers.
And I don't know how else we as individuals can
There's
do
nothing else we can do except pray to God and ask Him to use His power.
Yes.
To help us and to overcome this whole thing.
Yes. The power of God.
The power of God.
Right.
And God never loses. He always wins.
Never.
That's right. God always wins.
Never.
And anybody
never
that doubts
loses.
Don't.
Ever.
That's right.
So anyway, because it's setting things up, that October 25th partial solar eclipse in Scorpio, it's actually setting things up for November the 8th, okay, when we're going to have a total lunar eclipse in Taurus, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And it really, at that time, personally, now on a personal note, what happens is, at that time, it's going to really point out anything, especially in any relationships that are in your life, that are going on in your life. It's going to point out anything that needs to be fixed in a relationship, especially any form of dysfunction.
In relationships with other people.
Right, for ourselves.
This is the November eclipse?
November 8th, right.
Yes.
Now, that's on a personal note. However, for our country, for the United States, okay,
yes.
I prepared a chart and I gave it to Brian. If you could put up that chart, Brian, I'd really appreciate it. It's the astrological chart of the United States at the time of the eclipse. And what that is, on November 8th, actually at 3:02 a.m., November 8th, 2022.
What day is election day that year?
November 8th.
8th is election day.
Yeah.
So the eclipse is going to happen on election day.
Yeah, that's why I thought. That's why.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
That's why I put together the chart for the United
wonderful.
States
Yes.
for you.
Well, you know I'm all into that
because
stuff.
I know you are. So that's why I did that.
That's right.
For you. And if you look down in the second house, which is down at the left side of your screen, and you're going to see a little squiggly something. And what that is actually the planet Pluto, which has caused all this havoc and all these problems that have been happening that have especially affected our country. See, Pluto will be coming out of its retrograde. Remember before I mentioned that Pluto was retrograde.
And it's going to be
right
for a while.
now. And it's going to be, but it's going to go direct in September. So, but it'll be going direct again, and then it'll be 1 degree away from the natal Pluto of the United States on November the 8th. And November the 8th is everything that points out dysfunction and changing it.
In other words, things should
Thanks, Brian.
improve.
Oh my goodness, yeah. So talk about dysfunction. I mean, our country is having a lot of that.
We are the most dysfunctional country going right
I
now.
know. So dysfunction, right? I know. I mean, you don't usually hear that word associated with, a country.
Yeah,
But I
usually
really
with a
feel,
family or a person.
yeah, right. But tell me the truth. It isn't going on right now.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right.
I mean, okay. So what's happening is this by December 29th of by, by
year.
December 29th of this year,
Uh-huh.
actually that natal Pluto that you were looking at there and the transiting Pluto, well, Pluto will be absolutely conjunct, returning to the place where Pluto was on December 29th, 2023, where Pluto originally was on July the 4th, 1776.
Oh, is that where Pluto's going to be? You're kidding.
No, I'm not.
On
Yeah, I mean, you can't make this stuff up.
I
That's
know.
why I thought you'd appreciate this.
on November 8th, Election Day,
Yes.
Pluto is going to be
It will be within 1 degree.
within 1 degree.
However,
Yeah.
December 29th, which is the following month,
Okay.
it's going to be absolutely at the return. Now, understand something. You know how things go on Election Day.
Oh, sure.
Okay,
Oh, yeah.
now we have to, it used to be, it was just, that was it. You stayed up late at night and you found out and all that. But we know that kind of stuff isn't going to happen right now.
No,
right?
no.
That kind of stuff isn't happening. So anyway, what's going to ultimately happen is that the process will begin with the eclipse on Election Day. And then by the time we get to December 29th is when you'll see that things are really turning around. And that is why I have said that I see it getting better in 2023. And then 2024, when that crisscross that we talked about
That's
earlier
right, yes.
goes back over the United States, we're going to be straightened out. Okay.
From
We
your
all have
mouth
to
to
come
God's
together.
ears, that's all I say.
We all have to come together.
We
We
do.
can't have this division, this dysfunction.
That's right.
Because in a family that's dysfunctional, there's division, right?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So that's why really I'm using those two words together.
Mm-hmm.
Because what's happening in our country, we're divided and it's dysfunctional.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we know who's dividing us, too.
Well, okay.
Let's not go into that, right?
Okay. So, what do you think about everything that I just talked to you about? And, there's one more. I'm sorry, there's
Yeah?
one
Go
more
ahead.
thing.
Oh, good.
Okay, Brian, can you put that chart up again? The astrological one? Thanks. Okay. Whoop. All right. Here we go. Thanks, Brian.
Okay.
If you look down in the left-hand corner, and you're going to see that Pluto glyph, because that's what all it is. That's where the planet Pluto will be transiting through the United States of America. And it's going to be finally hitting, like I said, on December 29th. It'll be within 1 degree November 8th, but it'll finally be hitting. It's called the Pluto return, and that is going to be actually happening December 29th. But if you look up, okay, directly across where that little squiggly is, and all the way up to the right-hand corner, you're going to see a whole grouping of planets. That's all the planets where, because, it's all the planets where the planets were when the United States was born. And it has a stellium, like I was talking about, stelliums in
Everything's gonna be
Cancer.
just the way it was that day.
It's going to reset itself.
Now, has it ever been that way between then and December 29th, or is this the first time since July 4th, 1776, that the
Yeah.
planets are going to be that way on December 29th?
It was, but what happened was then it went retrograde. We need this return to happen.
So
And then we're going to move again.
It'll be the first
but it'll
return?
but it will still be dealing with this kind of thing, but it won't be as bad. See, every time Pluto hits, Pluto like that because it came around, it hit Pluto, and that's when everything literally
Fell
apart.
apart.
Yeah, I hate using that terminology, but it's the truth.
Well, yeah, right.
It's the truth. And so then everything fell apart. And then what happened was it went retrograde. Pluto went retrograde. So then things started straightening out, you know. And then what happened is it went direct again. And then it hit Pluto, the natal Pluto again. So this is what's been happening.
Since 1776.
No, the first time ever was in 2020 that Pluto had come close enough to the natal Pluto of the United States for the first time since 1776.
Really?
And
that
now
was
we've
in
been
2020.
dealing with this like a game, you know, of this back and forth, like a pendulum.
That got something to do with
swinging
everything that's going
back
on
and
now?
forth.
And
That's
how
everything. That it has everything to do with it. Everything.
And tell me something though. Now, if this is all going to get straightened out, that means that certain people, and we know who they are, won't be able to be around to control things the way they have been, because it's going to go the other way.
Oh, so you're referring to
mean,
elections. You're not. Yeah.
Well, yeah, but that would be the next thing to say, that the
Yeah.
elections are going to make that difference.
I believe so. You know, I mean, I actually just last month I was a guest on God's Way Yatave, and you were there.
Yeah, I was there. I was
remember
in the studio.
you were there.
Sure.
Yeah, you were in the studio.
Yes.
And
then we had birthday cake.
Yes, we did. That was so sweet. Ice cream cake.
That's right.
I haven't had ice cream cake in years. It was so good. Anyway, that was so sweet. So the thing is that I truly believe that there will be a turnaround, because I have watched the astrological charts of our present
person.
Yes.
Without mentioning names.
Yes. Okay. So I won't. And also our past person.
That's right.
And also.
And usually what's going on and what's going to happen next. Isn't it great to have that gift?
Well, it's a lifetime of knowledge.
Yes.
You know, I mean, this has been
Studying,
a lifetime of learning.
Yes.
So, yeah. So there it is. But so there we go.
So tell me now.
Yes.
Do you think that well, first of all, do you believe that in this next election that the House and the Senate are going to become more Republican then, so that things that would help things move along and change?
I don't watch each individual's, you know, I mean, except for the main players. I don't watch all of their charts.
Right,
However,
of course.
What I see happening with the country, and in especially the end of this year, 2020, and 2023 and 2024, what I see happening astrologically with this country and the main players and some other, well, how I feel on another level, you know, psychically, yeah, I really do. I feel that, you know, because how else is it going to turn around? I mean, unless
That's
there's
true.
another way.
That's right.
I
Yeah.
can't see another way.
Me either.
Yeah, because this just isn't working real good. You know, I mean,
No,
maybe
it's
we
not.
could
Look at
find
the
a
way
way,
gas prices
but
have
it just
gone.
doesn't look. Oh, please.
Even in New Jersey, where you're living,
Yeah.
gas. I paid $4.75. That's the highest I've paid. And Tommy was telling me that he paid $5 and change.
He paid $5 and change.
Uh-huh.
I paid $4.81.
I paid $4.75 the other day.
I haven't paid more
And
than
that's
that.
in New Jersey, where it was always cheaper. I mean, there was a time.
Yeah, right.
Before all the bridge tolls and everything went up, there was a time when it was worth it to go over to Jersey to gas up and come back,
I
even to
know.
pay the bridge toll. It came out cheaper.
Yeah, right.
Now,
I
not
know.
anymore.
Do you have tax on clothing?
No, it's a long time because a lot of people were going to Jersey to buy their clothes.
Yeah, right.
So New York finally got smart and said, we're taking the tax away so that you can stay here and buy your clothes.
Yeah, because New Jersey didn't. I remember that about New York. I mean, there's a lot of states that have a tax on clothes. And, I didn't even realize that. I didn't know New York changed that.
Oh, it's years and years.
Years.
Quite
Well,
a
that
long
goes
time.
to show you. I didn't even realize it. I had no idea.
Yeah. No,
You
we
know.
got rid of the tax on clothes because New York saw everybody running to Jersey to buy clothes.
Yeah.
You know?
It's very sad what's going on. I'm a little bit dismayed about the fact that there's so many shortages.
Baby formula, where did that come from? Shortage
That's a
on.
sin.
So yeah, now I saw on
That's a
television.
sin.
There's a plant that was making baby
Yes.
formula that closed down. They're trying to get it reopened so they can start manufacturing it again.
Yeah.
But you know what I'm hearing people say? Well, they did before baby formula was invented. They got condensed milk and added a little Cairo syrup to it and gave it to the baby.
Yeah, this is
We
true.
all survived on that.
Right. Or, from the mother.
Or from the mother, that's
yes,
right.
But the thing is that there was already a lot of infants that were here that were already, using the formula, the baby formula, and you can't just change a baby's formula like that.
Yeah, you can't. The same thing with your pets. You can't change their food.
Right?
They'll upset their stomach.
Oh my goodness, yeah. Really bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen that happen. No, I'm very careful about that with my dogs.
Oh yeah, sure.
But the thing is that what I'm trying to understand too, though, is why is there so many shortages of employees everywhere?
Because all of these people got on unemployment and decided they don't want to work no more.
I know, but isn't the unemployment over?
I imagine it is. A lot of them are off the unemployment now, so I don't know
So
what
what
they're
are they
doing.
doing?
I don't know.
So, I mean, is
I
there
see signs
some
all
kind of
over the place.
government-
Help
Huh?
wanted here, help wanted there.
Everywhere you
They want
go.
drivers, they want staff, they want whatever.
Yeah, the restaurant industry is really
Yeah.
taking a hit.
Yeah.
And I'm really hoping that the fact that the energy of Taurus, because that also has to do with restaurants, food, all of that, okay,
okay.
that we were talking about with these eclipses, I'm hoping that is going to straighten that out too. Look, we need our money situation straightened out,
That's right.
We need
Oh,
that
well,
money situation
Everything
straightened
has
out.
gone up so much. I mean, things have gone up like 50% in a lot of cases or more.
Yeah.
With especially food.
Yeah. Well, that Pluto that we were showing on the screen there,
Yeah.
where it is in the second house of the United States, that's the house of money. That's the house of money. That's our economy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you feel that our economy will get better and that maybe these...
Yes.
Because I know that, like, there was times when
I
gas
need
prices went up
2024.
sky high, but then
Yeah.
they went back down again.
Yeah.
Not as far as we would like, but they went back down.
Yeah.
So now it's getting to be ridiculous. It really is.
Yeah, there has to be, a ceiling to it, right? But this is astrologically, the way that I'm looking at it is the fact that it's going to hit Pluto. Like I said, Pluto's going to hit Pluto, and then it's going to move along, and then we're going to have that eclipse. Remember?
Yes.
That, like we were talking about.
Right.
And that's very important. And then that Pluto is going to be absolutely conjunct at the end of this year, December 29th. So going into 2023, I feel will be much better.
All right, good. Well, you know what? We'll do a show about
Pray.
it after it all comes down.
Let's hope and pray.
And we'll say, remember when we said...
Yeah, well, remember, I mean, there's a lot of shows that I've done with you.
Oh, yeah. That's absolutely
that we could
right.
do that.
Yes. And there will be many future ones, too, I'm sure.
Yeah, I love being on your show, Christine.
I love having
Thank
you.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, I always, you're a
Thank
pleasure
you.
to have as a guest and a friend.
Thank you, you too. It's mutual. Know that.
Well, anyway, though, so I hope that everybody got out of this show some information that'll be helpful. I hope that everybody is glad to hear and see that by the end of the year, things should be turning around for the better for all of us. In the meantime, though, I mean, I'm hoping because there's a lot of people too that are suffering because of all this. People in our country here.
Yes.
And,
Yes.
and I pray for those people, and I hope to God that we all come out of it okay, that we all come out of all of this better off than we are today.
Absolutely. Well, we will because God's in charge.
That's right. God is in charge, and God always wins.
God is in charge, and that's why the prayer is so important.
That's right.
I think it's lovely what you did on your last show.
Oh, yeah, and I'm going to say it again now.
Good. Beautiful.
Everybody, pray, pray, pray. Keep praying to God and the angels, and pray that all of this gets straightened out and that we could go on living in this country the way our forefathers meant us to live. Thank you and good night.
Oh. Lovely.